This is all that's appropriate for your situation, Audrey. Those words didn't just hurt, they were designed to humiliate. On Thanksgiving night, in front of 30 relatives, my parents handed my sister a $13,000 luxury cruise package. Then they turned to me, and with a mocking smile that made the room go silent, they handed me a crumpled $2 lottery ticket. My mother's voice carried across the dining room like a gavel. They all laughed. My sister, my cousins, even my own father. They thought they were putting me in my place. They didn't know that little slip of paper held $100 million secret. But the money isn't the best part of this story. The best part? Watching their world crumble when they realized I didn't just win the lottery. I won the right to decide their future. If you've ever been the invisible one in your family, the person everyone overlooks until they need something, then this story is for you. Hit that like button and subscribe if you believe in karma, because today, we're talking about the ultimate family reckoning. Let me know where you're watching from in the comments. I love seeing our community grow from every corner of the globe. Now, let's go back to the night the Crawford family stage fell apart. The Crawford family Thanksgiving wasn't a holiday. It was a production. My parents, Gerald and Patricia, were the directors, and everyone had an assigned role. My sister, Vivian, was the lead. She was the success, the beauty, the one who married Marcus, a real estate consultant who wore suits that cost more than my car. I arrived at 5 p.m. sharp, clutching a homemade autumn salad and a bouquet of dahlias I'd spent 3 months nurturing in my own garden. I'm a landscape architect. I design corporate green spaces, but to my mother, I was just playing with plants. My mother opened the door, her eyes flickering to my flowers with a look of mild pity. "Oh, Audrey. Still doing the gardening thing? Move along, dear, Vivian's here." She rushed past me to embrace my sister like she hadn't seen her in decades. It had been 2 weeks. Inside, the air was thick with the smell of roasted turkey and condescension. My father didn't even stand up from his leather recliner. He just nodded toward the dining room. "Audrey, good. We need help setting the table." That was my role. The help. While Marcus held court in the living room, bragging about his latest shadow deals and real estate flips, I was folding napkins. Aunt Marlene gave me a sad smile from across the room, but she didn't say anything. No one ever did. But as I was refilling the water pitcher, the mask slipped. The kitchen door was slightly ajar. My parents and Vivian were huddled inside. "The cruise leaves December 15th, my mother whispered. "First class, the whole family. Even Grandma Grace is coming." My hand froze on the pitcher. "What about Audrey?" Vivian asked. Not with concern, just as a footnote. My father's voice was cold. "She's busy. Besides, a trip like this is expensive. We don't want to burden her." The word hit me like a physical blow. Burden. I wasn't busy. I wasn't broke. I just wasn't invited. I pushed the door open. "I'm not invited." The silence was deafening. My mother's smile tightened into a mask of faux concern. "Sweetheart, it's to celebrate Marcus's promotion. It's a family thing." "I'm family," I said. Vivian chimed in, her voice dripping with honeyed poison. "We just didn't think you'd be interested, Audrey. You're so independent." Independent. The word they used when they meant outsider. Dinner was a slow-motion car crash. My father stood up, tapping his wine glass. "Family is everything," he announced. The irony tasted like ash in my mouth. He gestured for Vivian to come forward. "Patricia and I wanted to do something special." He handed her a thick envelope. A 14-day, first-class Caribbean cruise. $13,000. The room erupted in applause. Then, my mother turned to me. The room went quiet. "Audrey, honey, come here." I walked forward, my legs feeling like lead. She pressed a thin, flimsy envelope into my hand. Inside was a $2 Mega Millions ticket. "This is what suits your situation, dear," she said. A cousin snickered. Marcus leaned back, smirking. Hey, maybe she'll win $5. Luck's a long shot when you don't have brains to back it up. Laughter rippled through the room. I felt the blood rush to my face, my heart hammering against my ribs. But then, I looked at the ticket. I didn't cry. Something inside me simply snapped. Thank you, Mom, I said, my voice eerily calm. I'm sure this will be exactly what I deserve. Only Grandma Grace noticed the change in me. She stood up, her frame trembling, and scolded them for their cruelty. My mother quickly ushered her away, claiming she was confused and tired. But before she left, Grandma leaned in and whispered 5 words that changed my life. Call Thomas Smith this week. Later that night, as I stayed behind to clean up the dishes, because of course I did, I went into my father's study to gather coffee cups. That's when I saw the papers. They were scattered, messy, overdue bills, collection notices, and at the bottom, a loan agreement for $180,000 at a predatory interest rate, signed by my father and co-signed by Marcus. But the collateral? It wasn't my father's business. It was Grandma Grace's house. My stomach turned. The signature was shaky, dated 6 months ago, the week Grandma was in the hospital on heavy pain meds. They hadn't just excluded me, they were robbing the matriarch of the family to fund Marcus's lifestyle and their own vanity. I pulled out my phone and photographed every single page. I didn't have a plan yet, but I had the truth. 1 week later, I remembered the ticket. It was sitting on my kitchen counter, crumpled and ignored. I opened the app, scanned the numbers. 1 match. 2, 3, 4, 5. The mega ball. $100 million. I didn't scream. I didn't tell a soul. For 3 days, I walked through the world like a ghost. I went to work, I watered my plants, and I called 2 people. The Lottery Commission, and Thomas Smith. Thomas Smith was Grandma Grace's secret lawyer. He revealed that she had set up a $500,000 trust for me years ago because she knew my mother would try to take it. He also confirmed my father's fraud. 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, the family was at a Bon Voyage dinner. They were leaving for their cruise the next morning. I was invited only to help with the centerpieces. I declined. I told them I'd video call them at 8 p.m. When the call connected, they were all in the ship's lounge, tropical drinks in hand. Audrey, you're missing out, my mother chirped. I'm not, I said. I have something to share. I won the lottery. $100 million. The silence was beautiful. Then came the frantic, greedy questions. Marcus started talking about investment strategies. Stop, I said. I hit share screen. I showed them the loan papers. I showed them the forged deed to Grandma's house. And then, I showed them the screenshots Aunt Marlene had helped me get. Marcus's texts to his mistress, Diana, detailing how he was going to dump Vivian the moment the house deal closed. I'm using my winnings to buy Grandma's debt, I told my father, whose face was the color of sour milk. The house is back in her name. And Marcus, your business partners in the city just received a very interesting file from my legal team regarding your interest rates. Marcus stood up and walked out of the frame. Vivian burst into tears. My mother started screaming that I had ruined the family. No, Mom, I said. I just turned on the lights. Enjoy your cruise. It's the last thing you'll ever have for free. The aftermath was a glorious, slow-motion collapse. Marcus's consulting business vanished overnight under state investigations. Vivian filed for divorce before the ship even docked. My parents had to sell their cars and move into a 1-bedroom apartment. I didn't give them a cent. Why would I? I gave them exactly what they gave me on Thanksgiving. Nothing but a $2 chance to figure it out on their own. I moved Grandma Grace back into her home. I hired a full-time nurse and a gardener, though I still do the dahlias myself. Aunt Marlene and I have tea there every Sunday. As for the $100 million, I started the Mitchell Foundation, helping young women who are independent, the ones their families try to keep small. People ask if I feel bad. They say, "But Audrey, they're your parents." And I tell them the same thing. Family isn't about blood. It's about who stands by you when you have nothing, not who crawls to you when you have everything. My parents handed me a $2 ticket because they thought I was worthless. I'm just glad I proved them right. I was worth more than they could ever afford. If this story gave you the chills you were looking for, smash that like button. Have you ever had a family member try to put you in your place, only for it to backfire? I want to hear your stories in the comments. I read every single one. And don't forget to subscribe for more tales of justice and sweet, sweet revenge.